Hello everyone, my name is Rajesh Kumar and I'm your DevOps SRE DevSecOps coach. I have close to 18 plus years of experience working in multiple MNCs around the globe and having in-depth knowledge of DevOps, SRE and DevSecOps. So I would like to introduce you one certification program in a DevOps, and that is we call it DevOps Certified Professional. Now this is a 2 months of program, 25 tools of DevOps you will learn, and apart from that you will also get the access to the LMS, lifetime access to the videos portal. It's a certification program, and you will have 25 assignments and 2 projects along with it. It's a completely weekend program, so here you have classes on Saturday and Sunday. So as part of this course, you will learn multiple things. Here you see that you will learn Linux, AWS, Docker, Jira, Confluence, Python, Git with GitHub, SonarQube, Maven, Gradle, Packer, Artifactory, Selenium, JMeter, Ansible, Kubernetes, Helm, Terraform, Jenkins, Datadog, Splunk, and Neuralink. Now, how do we, apply for this? So how can you reach out to us? So you have a WhatsApp number and email ID. So please reach out to us, and we'll help you to onboard this program. Apart from this DevOps certified professional programs, we are offering other certifications as well in a DevSecOps, SRE, and one of the very comprehensive programs which we have is in Master in DevOps Engineering. Yeah, so feel free to get in touch with us and then enroll for it. Thank you.
Okay, so today we are going to learn Git, and then we are going to learn at the last sessions. Today we'll have 3 to 4 sessions altogether. So last session I'm going to teach you GitHub also. Okay, so let's get started with it. So the first thing before learning Git, we need to know what is versioning. Okay, so it's not something which we are learning new. It's not something is there today only. It's not really new technology. It's there from last 40, 50 years since we started developing the software. Writing started started writing a code for it. So basically, when we write a code over the period of time, like you modify the code every day, every week, every month, years, and software development takes lots of time. Multiple releases you do, like major release, minor release, patches, hot fixes, and all stuff like this. And not only you, we work as a team, right? We work as a team, 5 people, 10 people, 20 people. We work as a team. So we want to make sure that the code which has been modified, sorry, the code which has been modified, we want to keep a track of it. Who has modified, what modification has been done, why the modification is made in this code. I want to know the reason for it, where exactly the codes modified codes are located, and when it was modified. So these are the things we want to know, and that process we call a versioning process. Okay, so you can get to know, okay, version 1 has been modified by Bob, version 2 has been modified by Lice, John, and so on, and this time what his has been modified, why it has been modified, and so many things. Okay, so that is a versioning. So now this is a problem, and we are having many tools actually available in the market, many tools in the market, and for the versioning. So I'll give you some of the names which you can see on my screen. SSCS, we started in 1990s, 70s, then RCS, CVS, SVM. Okay, by the way, these are the open source tool. But if I take you to the proprietary one, then we have a Perforce. I don't know how many of you have used it. ClearCase, uh, TFS, VSS. VSS initially came from the Microsoft. Then after that, TFS and ClearCase, and many tools were there actually. So now it's like a good time. We are living in a good time. When I started working, I remember that, let's say I was in a few projects, I was acting like a build and release engineer, and my projects was using everything almost, like CVS also some projects, so SBN also some of the code base, TFS also, VSS also, ClearCase also. So at that time, I mean, it was a kind of lost era. So we had to struggle, learning each and everything. But now, all of us got to, locate only one tool, and that is called Git. So if you see that this is the timeline of the development for the VSS tool, and so on. This is also, again, I'll just ignore it. You don't want to know that. So Git is born in 2005. Now it was created by Linus Torvald. Anyone have idea who's the Linus Torvald? Anyone?
The guy who created Linux kernel.
Yes, we should. We all of us are owning a lots of things for him. Because of Linux, this whole ecosystem for the ecosystem got created. Open source ecosystem. Whatever the tool you are learning in the DevOps right now, most of these are open source, and this open source concept has come because of this guy only. So yeah, uh, this is the guy who created a Git also, and it was a replacement for the Bitkeeper. So basically, Git initially the design was for storing the Linux kernel actually, but later on it becomes so popular. Now we all are having training and learning and all. So now the situation is like, any project you go, any company you join, you need to be knowing the Git, whether you are a dev or not, whether you're QA or not, whether you are a DevOps or not, or whether you're a manager also or not. Simple, because you need to know that you need to track the changes, right? And everyone who's working in the software engineering need to know the Git, and along with some tools like the GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket or something like that. So Git is very popular because of it's a free, it's open source, compatible with all the operating system, and it is faster than other SMs which I talked about. Now, when you say faster, this means what way? The answer is hidden in architecture, which I'll talk about it. So Git is distributed version control. Sorry, sorry. So Git is distributed version control. Means now what is a distributed versus server and client model? I need to discuss that one. So I'll help you with that. So sorry. So look at the popularity of the Git. We had GitHub. I'll talk about what is GitHub. Okay. So we had a GitHub in 2019, no, 2009. We had only 50K repository, and by 2020 you have 190 millions of repository. So look at the popularity of Git. Okay, so now the question is, who can use the Git? Anyone who write a code. Now we'll say, oh, I don't write a code. No, it's not exactly. All of us are writing a code. Let me remind you, code means it's not like a Java and C++ and Python. Code means any files which you can open with a notepad. I'll put it in a very simple way. Any file which human can read it, that is a code. It can be configuration also. It can be your Apache configuration also. It can be any configuration file, any file which has a content which you can read it, human can read it. Text-based file is a code actually. The format can be anything, Java, C++, PHP, whatever it is. Okay, but there's something which is not a code. For example, image is not a code, movies file is not a code, music font is not code. In fact, Word document is not a code. Word document is exactly executable. If you don't install the MS Office, and then you try to open the Word document, it will not open up. Spreadsheet is not file. It's not text based file. It's executable. PDFs also executable. So these are the files. You can store it in the Git. There is no problem in it. But the versioning is not possible. When I say versioning, that means, let's say you modify the files today and then tomorrow, and you want to see the changes between these two files, these two changes, then you can see that Git will help you in that. But if you modify the same image two times, then Git will not help you to find out the difference, because you cannot see the difference between the executables. Making sense? Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's for everyone. Now, there is one concept which is called distributed. Okay, so that we need to understand, and so on. So, any questions so far?
No.
Sorry guys, today I have some morning issues with my throat. Sorry. Okay, so what is the distributed and servant client? So whatever the tool I talked about it, except the Git, it was based on the server and client model. I repeat, server and client model. Though you don't need to know for day-to-day activities, but if someone asks you in the interview, hey, why this Git is so popular? What is the one feature which is making them unique? So this you should be having it, this answer. So this is the interview for the sake of interview, not for the work I'm answering. So what is happening? Earlier tools we had a server model. So that means there's one server. Okay, this is a server, and then inside the server there'll be one applications stored. These applications can be clear case or SVN or CBS or something like that. And then you will create using that application. You will create one repository. Okay, and this repository primarily will be divided into two part. Okay, repository, I repeat, repository means what? Nothing but a collections of files and their objects. So this is the repository, and this repository you have files and the metadata. Now what is the metadata? Metadata which contains the who, what, why, when, all this stuff. So this is the repository. Now this you want to access the repository, then you have a IP address, port number, username and password. So now let's say if I want, as a developer, I want to access my code. So I will do what, I will install the client here. Okay, I will install the client, and then I will, in the client, I'll provide the IP address, username and password, and I will access it. So remember that in this model, this network connection has to up, this network connection has to up, and this network connection. Without that, I repeat, without this, you cannot add a file, you cannot commit a file, you cannot delete a file, you cannot branch, you cannot merge, you cannot do the view the differences between the two files. Anything you cannot do that, except you can modify that file which is controlled by locally. You cannot version actually. This network connection has to up and running. So this, in this model, this is called server and this is called client. So this is called server and client model. So whatever I talked about, the tools like clear perfor, cbs, sbn and all, they were based on the server and client model. So here you have a server which has a repository which manage the repository users and all, and then this is the client, you connect with it for commit or doing any versioning activity. Make sense,
Yeah,
all of you? All of you?
yeah, Rajesh.
Yeah. Now that what is a distributed model? So Git is a based on the distributed model. So distributed model means, you know what? Actually, this let me show you here. This is your laptop, okay? And here you install the client. You install the Git client. Okay, I'll show you that demo. I'll show you that. So you install the Git client, but you know what? Where is your repository? It's not outside of a machine. Your repository is somewhere here only. Yes. See, so metadata. That means whatever you do, let's say adding, removing, editing, deleting, branching, merging, conflict resolutions, viewing the differences, everything you do in the local repository. You don't need any internet connection, you don't need any network, you don't need to talk to any server as such. For everything you do that. So if everyone wants to do versioning, they basically all people in Git work in their local repository. So let's say four of us in our team, so we will work in the our local repository. Make sense? So this model we call it a distributed model. Make sense?
Yeah,
All of you? Hello?
yeah, Rajesh.
Hmm. So now you'll have one questions. Okay, so we all are working in our own local repository. Everything we do in our local repository. So how do we collaborate our code with others? So for that we we need little bit of more discussion. I'll do that in some time. But for time being, I'll say what we do. We just sync the repository to this to this to this to this. Basically, there's no server in this concept. We all are having repository and we sync each other. But there is a certain problems also. We'll fix it together. And but When it comes for server and client model, you have a server and multiple client. When it comes to Git distributed model, here where everyone works with their own local repository, there is no server as such. Make sense, all of you? All of you? Okay, so now what next? What next? Just give me 2 seconds, guys.
This
So now you
conference
have
will now be recorded.
so now you have understood what is Git and what is why we need it. Now let's start working with the workflow. So what to do? Step number one, step number two, step number three, step number four, and so on. So we'll do that. So in the step number one, we'll install the Git. Okay. So how do we install the Git? So depends on your operating system. Okay. Let me save these notes. Depends on your operating system. So let's say if you're in Windows, okay, so of course you'll go for exe file, right? So where do we get the exe file? So if you go to the internet, git-scm.com, here it is. So you can download this one from here. Let's say if you're on Linux, let's say it depends on the operating system, so you go for sudo yum apt get install git-y. Okay, something similar you can do with RHL also. So this is the yum. Now next thing also you can do what, Ubuntu is done, RHL. In Mac you can install through the DMG. Okay, so you can install through the DMG, uh, and so on. So this is the way you can install. Now when you install in Windows, let's say, the command and all, everything is same for all operating system. When you install the Windows, then is one utility which will get installed, which is called git bash. Now what is a git bash? So git bash is basically one utility, one command line utility. Using that you can run the git command also, and plus basic Linux command in Windows also, plus the coloring of the command and all. It's very useful for me and for the understanding the thing. So you can use this. So let's say if you go to the command line, if you put git, I'm just verifying mine is already installed. So this, you see that git installed. Coloring is very flat here. If you go to the PowerShell here, here git hyphen virgin, and you see that. But I'll show the git bash. Okay, which is installed in my machine. Little slow, but it's okay. Mine is slow because of I've not configured it properly from last. I mean, I've not upgraded it from last 2 3 years, I guess. So this 2 years, I guess. So like that. Okay. So you see that coloring and all. It's a nice one. So we all should use the Git Bash for learning in Windows. If you are using DMG, I mean Mac, then anyways command line and all you do that. Terminal. Okay, any questions on the installing front? All of you? Okay, so now what to do? Create a repo. So create a repo. That's the step number two. Now write a code. That is the third step. Fourth step, add a code file. I would say code file. Add a code file to Git. Step five, commit commit a code file. Commit a code file, and then step six, verify. I mean, look at the committed, you know, committed file like this. So these are the things which I'll show you just now. So create a repo, write a code file, add a code file to Git, commit a code file to Git, and look at the committed file. Look at the history of the commit. Okay, so let me show you. So what I'll do, I will go to the empty directory. Many people, you know what they do. I'll tell you. They go and simply start typing the command. Open up the Git bash and they start typing the command. You know where are you? Here. And what are the files you have? See that plenty of. Do you want to version this file as out of the user profile? No, of course not, right? So you should go to directory where you should start committing the file. So here I'll go for Git. This is the repository one. I'll delete this and I will create one more repo one, and this is the empty file. Okay, this is the empty folder. So I'll go here, open up with context menu, and here if you open up, automatically you will see that you have come to the directory. You see that here, C Rajesh all workspace git repo one. So you should go to the empty directories and then start creating a repos. Blindly, you should not follow the steps. So what to do? So yes, I am going to create a repo. How do I create a repo? Git init. That's all. So this unit will create a repository, the same repository which I was talking about here, here, and here. Okay, so read this. It's empty repository. Now, if you see that .git, this is your repository. So many people will not be able to see this directory. Why? Because this is the hidden directory. So you have to open up with the view, show, and hidden items and all. Then you will be able to see that. So that's your repository. Now, so that is done. Now write a code for that. So let me start writing a code. So one of the way to write a code is like you can use through command line, vi editor. That is also you can use it vi file1 dot java, and this is line 1, this is line 2, this is line 3, and save it. Okay, so this is the one file, but the shortcut for the creating a file also I'll show you because I need it. This is the one file I created, big file. You can, this is all our code actually. You can start writing new files here also, file3.java. So all these things you can do that. Okay, so now you created a file. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah.
Okay, so now this step is also I completed. Add a file to a Git. Sorry, write a code or write a code file. Now, how can I add a code file to the Git? So there is a command for it. I must run it. So guys, look at my screen very carefully. ls. See here, you have three files, right? So now git add file1.java. This is the way you can add a file to Git. Now this is the warning because Linux, Windows, some end of line character gets changed, crlf. That's, you can ignore it. So this I'm adding the file. So this is also done. Now committing a code file to Git. Now committing, if I remember from my legacy experience, SBN also had a commit, Perforce also had a commit like a submit or something like that. So when I submit, that means I tell, okay, this is me who's committing a file. But here I never informed Git who are you, what is your name, what is your user ID. User ID anyways is not needed because it's the same server. At least name or something should be there, so we will come to know who's committing this code. Okay, so how do I know? How do I set this? So this before committing, it's a first time and one time activity for each repo. Okay, you have to do this command to inform Git who are you. Git config user dot name Rajesh Kumar and git config user dot email devops at the rate of Rajesh Kumar dot xyz. So this is my email address, this is my things, and now this will be set only once, okay, to each repository. Now again, there's some lots of things we need to know about the configuration, which I'll teach you later. So let me run this code. So clear the screen. My git bash is little slow. Lots of things is in configurations to load. So ignore it. Now I set it up. Now do you want to see these changes? So you can run git config hyphen hyphen list. So this you can see that, copy and paste it. Enter. And now if you go to the bottom section of this page, this output here it is. Correct. Now if you see that there's some other setup also, but this is the last entry which I made it. We will be overriding all other stuff. Got it, all of you?
Yeah.
Okay, so now this is we set. Now we are going to commit the code. So how do we commit the code? So commit a code file. So how do I do that? So first uh, git git commit, and why you are committing? So I'm committing because it's my first commit for versioning, and then enter. Now this commit has happened. Remember that there was one file which I added last. One file, four lines were there, and this is the permissions 644, and done. So now this is also done. Commit a file. Look at the committed log. So how do I know that? So for that, there's one command git log. Okay, see that this is the commit information. So if you see that this is the one commit I did it. So here if you correlate with the slides here, who are you? So Rajesh Kumar. What commit you do? I'll show you this in some time. Why you committed? Because of my first commit. Where I'll show you when. So this is the time. Now two information is remaining, right? So git show and commit ID. This is the commit ID. Okay. And here you see what is the code. This is the code, and where is it located? It's in root location, means same locations. Okay, so this is the way all information you have it. Like this, you'll keep doing it. So what you'll do? This now you'll repeat. Write a code, add a code, commit a code, look at the code. Same thing, and this is the loop you will do in the versioning. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah.
Okay, now you'll see that there's one number which is a 40 character hash value. What exactly this is? So basically this is the unique value which was created by shower, okay. This is the algorithm, SHA-1 algorithm created. Now you'll say why this has been created. So let me tell you, in the Git there is no concept of revision number. Revision number means 1 2 3 4 5 6 commits, 7 commits, 10. No, the repository is not having that concept. So everything you commit, whether it's a one file you commit or 5,000 file you commit, will along with the 500 directories also, everything will be notified. Each commit is notified by unique number, which is a, we call it a checksum, you can call it a commit ID, by shower. Okay, so this is something which has been managed by Git shower. Now if you want to track what was committed, you have to use this 40 character number. First 7 character is also unique, which you can use it. Okay, so if you want to really know about how this get stored in the SHA-1, this commit ID, references, all these things, so I would insist you to read the Git internals. So here there is a concept called Git object. If you really find interesting, then you can do that. And this is a plumbing and porcelain, and few more command, few more stuff which you have. I think that is the first one is good. This is the one is good. So you can read this internal, how Git works, how it gets stored, and all stuff like that. For the end user perspective, you don't need to know that. Okay. So this is something we have understood. Any questions so far, all of you?
If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.